Hey guys, welcome. This is Catherine with Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. So I had kind of intended on being outside tonight with my goats and talking to you about goats, and we've got a big storm moving in as we're supposed to expect, I think they said up to possibly 12 inches of snow, which is it's kind of normal for us over the winter, but it's definitely a bigger storm than what we normally get. We normally get a couple inches and then it melts off and then we are done and over with the storm. So I spent my day preparing for a winter storm moving in, and my goats actively fought against me today. It has been a challenging day as far as goats go. Hey Tom, welcome. Hope you're doing well. So I started out my day. My intention this morning was to actually attend the county commission meeting here in my town. We've got some big things happening on a legislative level. And hey, PhD Natural Me, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome. So hey, Douglas, welcome. So this morning I hopped into my car and we were getting ready to head into town. I have to take my daughter to school in the mornings, and I happened to look over my shoulder and I saw activity in my rabbit yard. Hey Linda, we're gonna get snow. That's what I said. So, and it's gonna be significant. I love these kind of storms. I live in the mountains, but we are high desert mountain and it melts off relatively fast, so it's fine. Hey, Life in the UP, welcome! You guys are rolling in. Jennifer, yay, welcome! So this morning I got in the car getting ready to head into town. My plan was to take my daughter to school and then head to the county commissioners meeting, and my goats laughed at my plans. And goats, and in fact livestock, are just really great at throwing loopholes in your day. If you think that you run your life, I recommend you get a farm, and you will find out that you in fact have control of very little. They will teach you that fast. So I looked over my shoulder and I saw activity in our rabbit yard, and I went, hey, that's kind of weird, because normally it's all our flock, our chickens, our ducks, and then the rabbits in their hutches, and there shouldn't have been any large animals roaming around. And I saw one of my goats and I went, oh, lovely. And so what I really wanted to do was drive off and pretend like they weren't there. But then I saw more goats, and then I saw more goats. And then I realized that a good portion of my herd was actually in my rabbit yard. Joseph said it was close to 90 today. Holy cow. So Linda says, boy, that's true. Yeah, you have no control over your life when you have a farm. And whatever control you have is really kind of in your mind and not necessarily there. So they'll teach you that real fast. So what I wanted to do was ignore the goats and drive off into town and just do my thing anyway. And I put my car in drive and started to move forward, and then the small voice in my head said, you know what? You've got feed cans in there, and you've got hundreds of pounds of feed. And it's not goat feed, it's chicken feed, and it's rabbit feed. And goats are notorious for bloating. And so if they get into feed that their digestive system isn't necessarily used to, it can actually be deadly for them. And so the small voice in my head said, Catherine, don't be lazy, go get your goats. And so I had to put my car in park, and I hopped out and then proceeded to wrestle goats for approximately half an hour. And I ended up covered in hay, and I smelled like a goat. And I was late for the county commission meeting, so I didn't make that, which is probably a good thing, because I watched it online, and about 7.5 hours later they were still doing public comments, because this is really like a heated topic in my community. And so I was glad, and I was really proud of my community for turning out in droves, and anything I would have contributed to the conversation was already said, so my presence wasn't necessarily needed there, and I'm not really like a big roller in my community, so it didn't really matter if I showed up or not. But just threw this whole kink in my plans. So when I got home, I thought that I had corrected the problem to some degree. I knew I did not solve the problem, but my baby goats are still, they're laughing at me. They've figured out, and I blame this on PETA, my new goat. She is living up to her true name of being a pain in the ass, but she's such a sweet goat, so I can't blame it on her in full, because she's got this sweet innocent look like, me? Did I do that? So it's hard to be mad at her, but I know that she is the ringleader. So she has taught the rest of my goats that not only do fences not have to be respected, that they are just a figment of their imagination as far as being a constraint. And if they want to go where they want to go, they are free to go where they want to go. And so that's what they did today. And so I spent at least half an hour this afternoon booby trapping my gate to keep my baby goats in. And so fingers crossed, we figured it out. So I did want to talk to you, for those of you who are unfamiliar with goats, this is an important tool to have on hand. So if your goats do get into some sort of feed that is concerning, or they do overeat, even if it's their own food, if they get into it and they overeat, they can experience something called bloat. And that's where gases in their stomach actually build up. They, very literally puff up, and it can be deadly. It suffocates them. So this baking soda is one tool to have on hand. Mine will readily and easily eat it. If I put it out there just as free feed, I put it into their feed buckets, and they always take it without any issues. Friends of mine online today were suggesting things like Dr. Pepper, and I could see where that might help. I've never gone that route, but just getting the carbonation into the gut will make them burp and release some of those gases. So tools to have on hand if you have goats. So a quick update on PETA herself. So for those of you who saw the show last week, she was roaming my neighborhood, and nobody knew who her owners were, and I kept getting tagged in local posts on Facebook wondering if it was my goats. It wasn't my goat. I got calls from neighbors. I had lots of concerns that it was one of mine roaming, which I really appreciate, that anybody that thinks that goats automatically belong to me and that they're concerned about returning them. That was very sweet. So it turns out that their owner lives just over the hill from me. They are experienced with livestock. They had more goats. PETA was currently their only goat. And apparently she didn't respect fences at their home either. She likes her people. She wants to be with her people. If she sees her people, she will just join her people. And so that's what she was doing there, was she was jumping their fences, and apparently she rounded up one of their dogs and they went for an adventure. And so she ended up at one of my neighbor's house, didn't respect their fences either, and so I was requested to take this goat. And not the actual owner himself, but his mom saw a post in one of the local groups, contacted the woman who had them, who let them know that I had PETA. And so after a conversation, and found out that she was in fact an only goat, and in my heart that just kind of hurts, because they're herd animals. They want to be with goats. She had been here for a little over a week. She was happy here, even though she laughs at my fences. She's not going anywhere. The only time she jumps it, aside from this morning, is when she sees me. And so she's been a really good fit on my homestead. And so I had a conversation with the couple that own them. I offered to buy her from them, and they accepted. And it was a really reasonable price. And in fact, the price that they accepted from me, I thought was, it's definitely low for a goat. It was more like a token offer. They accepted my token offer, and then they offered me feed money since I had been caring for the last week and a half. I live in such a special community. I got to tell you that it touches my heart with each and every homesteader, rancher, farmer, anybody who really just kind of gets behind this lifestyle. It's an amazing thing to build community. And I would highly suggest that you network within your communities, because there are people out there that are like-minded. This lifestyle often makes us feel isolated. We feel like we're weird. We feel like we're rebels fighting against some weird system that's delicate and fragile, and we're doing things that is just countercultural. But honestly, there's so many out there that support this and love this and are living the lifestyle too. So network out there. There's great people out there. So long story short, PETA's now ours. PETA is a happy member of our herd. PETA is a very sweet goat, even though she's ornery, and I'm thankful that she's here. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. I am on bloat patrol. So far all of my goats are healthy and happy, and I'm not seeing any concerns, but I'm just kind of keeping an eye on things and making sure that that stays, and that we don't have any medical emergencies, because tomorrow would be a bad day to have a medical emergency. So Jennifer says the ones with sass are the best. Amen. And as somebody who is sassy myself, I can totally appreciate that characteristic. And honestly, life is kind of boring if you don't have some challenges thrown in there along the way. So this is what helps us grow. It stretches us, it challenges us, it pushes us to our limits, and we become better people with the challenges we experience. So don't ever look at a challenge as a negative. Embrace it, roll with it, and allow yourself the ability to evolve, because if we get stuck, if we're stagnant, that is not healthy. So I'm not necessarily encouraging you to go out and get crazy goats, although maybe I am, but definitely don't get stuck in your box. Break out of that box and do things that push your limits. So that's really all I had today. Like I said, I wanted to do this outside, but it's dark, it's cold, it's crazy windy, and we are preparing for a potential blizzard as far as our standards go. So wanted to give you an update. Julie has told me all along that if I'm going to talk about goats, I better dang well have a goat next to me and it better be on topic, but I figured I'm all about breaking rules. So you guys, I'm so glad that you joined me today. If you haven't liked this, please like this. I'm terrible about asking for likes. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. That little bell, I found out a friend was subscribed, but she didn't know that that little bell is in notifications and will let you know when I go live. Linda says, stay warm and safe. Tom asks if I'm wearing pants. That's a running joke. No, I am not. I am wearing yoga pants. And I hope to live in yoga pants as much as possible. Life in the UP says stay safe, so does Jennifer. Thank you guys. My intention and plan is to cocoon tomorrow. I'm probably not even gonna let my kids go to school and we're just gonna stay. And if there is no snow, then they get a free day off. And if there is snow, then we are safe and we are home. So that's all I've got for today. So please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys, and we shall talk to you later. Okay, bye.